Today, the first 2 episodes of Andor Season 2 come out, and I'm genuinely excited to watch it as all the episodes release. But that excitement is bittersweet because I realised something. When Andor Season 2 has released all its episodes, there's literally nothing else I'm looking forward to when it comes to Star Wars. Not the endless revolving door of creatives, promised projects, or the continuing streaming shows with diminishing returns, and certainly not the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, whose character arcs peaked 4 years ago. Even if that show initially gave me glimmers of hope, look how that turned out in the end. I, like many, fell in love with Star Wars as a child. I saw the originals at home and identified with Luke's journey and yearning for adventure. I later saw all 3 of the prequels in the cinema, creating fond, formative memories. While as I got older I did not look as fondly upon them, recent years have made me appreciate that they at least had a creative vision and some unique ideas, even if their execution was often flawed. I was incredibly excited by the news that Disney was buying Star Wars. Back in 2012, they could do no wrong, releasing hit after hit and doing a great job of supporting both Marvel and Pixar. The idea of a new Star Wars trilogy with the cast of the original trilogy was just so tantalizing. Finally, George Lucas would be out and some new storytellers could play in the sandbox. And then the sequel trilogy came out.
Good question. For another time.
To find out they didn't plan the story of the trilogy out and spent more time constructing a narrative about the toxic fans instead was infuriating. They didn't reunite the original trio in a single scene, and now tragically that will never happen. They let Rian Johnson do whatever the hell he wanted in the second chapter of a trilogy.
What the fuck is this?
The Last Jedi, pissing on the ashes of Force Awakens. And then JJ made his triumphant return to helm the creatively bankrupt, disastrous mess that was The Rise of Skywalker in 2019.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
F*** that movie. There's a reason there's not been a Star Wars movie released since.
Who are you?
I'm Rey.
Rey who?
Rey Skywalker.
Are you serious?
At this point, when something is announced by Lucasfilm, my immediate reaction is to roll my eyes and think, I'll believe it when I see it. They've announced at least 7 projects I can think of right now that never came out. Any day now, Rian Johnson's trilogy's gonna come out, right?
That's bait.
I won't list them all here, but clearly there is something very wrong with how they are handling these projects behind the scenes. Star Wars was once a franchise that had huge big screen spectacle, adventures, and characters you loved. It was escapism at its finest, innovating new techniques and experimenting with emerging technology. Now it has become subpar streaming slop that is barely a footnote in the cultural zeitgeist. It has become irrelevant and failed to capture a new generation. People are not now going to suddenly turn around en masse and say, actually, The Force Awakens was amazing, as it turns 10 years old this December. Disney has made one of the biggest and most successful franchises of all time culturally irrelevant and failed to capture a new generation in less than a decade. Bravo. There is much more I could say, but for now, I am looking forward to watching Andor Season 2. Especially as for me, Season 1 of Andor was the best thing Disney has done with Star Wars. The trailers show that Season 2 looks to raise the stakes, scope and scale from the first season. Although, why the heck did they not use John Williams' score in that first trailer? You have one of the most iconic and recognisable themes in film history, and you don't use it?
Weird.
Anyway, with Tony Gilroy once again steering the ship, I'm sure it will be an excellent series of well-written, high-quality, action-packed television. But after that, there's nothing left for me. I am, at this point, completely apathetic about the future of what was one of my favourite franchises. I honestly don't know what Lucasfilm could do at this point to win me over. Even the recent reports of Kathleen Kennedy, one of the chief architects of Star Wars' failure, might finally be retiring isn't enough now. It's just too little too late. though it seems like she might at the very least remain a figure in the shadows, not unlike Palpatine. I am not retiring. I will never retire from movies. I will die making movies. I am Star Wars.
Fuck.
Lucasfilm's leadership is rotten to the core, and it could take years to fix, assuming they even have the wherewithal to understand there's a problem. Tell me, which character haven't they completely ruined or destroyed at this point? Where can they go from here? Only fan films are keeping what remains of Star Wars alive. FXitinPost's SC-38 Reimagined, PRISM's What If the Sequel Trilogy Was Awesome series, and Star Wars Theory's upcoming Vader Episode 2 are simultaneously inspiring and depressing, offering a glimpse of what could have been under the stewardship of those who actually care about George Lucas's vision for that galaxy far, far away. For many fans, it's simply too late, and they're not coming back. They've moved from anger to despair to grief, and now apathy has set in. Star Wars just simply isn't made for fans like me anymore. I'm done with Star Wars, and it's done with me.